Caitlin Clark, move over more, because Juju is special.
Juju Watkins is like, she's going to be bigger than Caitlin Clark. And I don't even know if that's possible for what Caitlin Clark has done for women's basketball.
Yeah, Matt, that's what's going to be interesting. Caitlin is a supernova, and Juju probably is a better player.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark's WNBA journey is just beginning, but Charles Barkley thinks it might end sooner than we think. Kit feels way too early to start talking about the end of Caitlin Clark's reign in the WNBA, especially when the rookie sensation has only just wrapped up her debut season. But that hasn't stopped some big names in the basketball world from weighing in with bold predictions. Clark entered the league with a resume that already read like a legend's. In college, she didn't just dominate, she rewrote history. Clark became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer across both men's and women's Division I basketball, breaking a 54-year-old record held by the great pistol, Pete Merrill. Along the way, she shattered countless records in three-point shooting and assists, with accolades stacking up like trophies on a shelf. Clark was the clear-cut No. 1 pick in the WNBA draft, and when she stepped onto the court as a pro, she didn't just live up to the hype, she exceeded it. In her rookie season, Clark set the record for the most points ever scored by a first-year player with 769. She also led all rookies in assists, racking up a record-breaking 337. It was a powerful message. The Caitlin Clark era isn't coming, it's already here. But when you're on top, you're automatically a target. The pressure isn't just from opponents trying to knock you off your game. It's also coming from fans, media, and now even legends of the sport. Enter Charles Barkley. The NBA Hall of Famer and longtime TV personality recently stirred the pot by suggesting that Clark's time at the top might be cut short, and not by someone in the league right now, but by a young prospect who's still 3 years away from even being drafted. Barkley's comment instantly grabbed headlines. Now, Barkley has never been shy with his takes, and while some might call this one premature or even absurd, his words carry serious weight in the basketball world. As a player, he was a force in the NBA through the 80s and 90s, winning MVP honors, Olympic gold medals, and earning spots on both the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. Since retiring, Barkley's been a fixture on Inside the NBA, known for his strong opinions and, occasionally, outdated takes. Still, he's watched the game evolve for over 2 decades and has seen stars rise and fall. When he speaks, people listen. In this case, though Barkley isn't just stirring the pot for attention, he's aware of the unfair criticism Clark's been getting since she entered the league. And to his credit, he hasn't hesitated to call out the negativity she faces. So while his comment about a future prospect might sound like he's rushing to crown the next big thing, it's more likely rooted in his perspective on how fast the game and its stars can change. But one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark has already proven she belongs on the biggest stage, and she's not giving up the spotlight anytime soon.
Out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there.
Charles Barkley's recent comments likely point to the rising level of physicality in the WNBA, particularly in how some players are approaching Caitlin Clark. What started as tough competition has, in some cases, crossed the line, raising concerns about whether Clark is being targeted with overly aggressive, even borderline dirty, plays. Barkley hasn't been silent about it either. Over the past year, he's voiced serious concerns about the direction of the WNBA, openly criticizing decisions he believes are hurting the league. And in the case of Caitlin Clark, it's clear he sees the treatment of the league's biggest new star as part of a much larger problem.
Cannot have fucked this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. If you got people in a room, if you got a bunch of dudes in a room and says, let's fuck up the WNBA, we couldn't have came up a master plan. What these women have done, this girl is incredible. What she did in college for women's basketball, what she's doing in the WNBA.
Barkley's underlying message seems to be that WNBA players should ease up on Caitlin Clark, not because she can't handle the heat, but because, in his view, they owe her. Thanks to Clark's arrival, the league has seen a major boost in visibility and revenue, with perks like charter flights finally becoming a reality. But here's the catch, Caitlin probably wouldn't agree with that line of thinking. Clark has never asked for special treatment. In fact, she thrives in high-pressure situations and sees herself as just another fierce competitor on the court. She's even said in interviews that she doesn't want opponents to take it easy on her that would be more insulting than the rough defense she's already facing. During the podcast where this was all discussed, host Bill Simmons called out what he saw as a bit of hypocrisy in Barkley's stance. After all, Barkley has long been one of the loudest critics of today's NBA stars. On Inside the NBA, he often takes shots at younger players, comparing them to the old-school legends he played with during the 80s and 90s. He's been vocal about how the game has changed and not always for the better. But to Barkley's credit, he seems self-aware about the limitations of his perspective. While he starts by critiquing the physical play in modern stars, he always circles back to praising Caitlin Clark, especially her composure and grace in the face of relentless criticism and unnecessary hate.
Accused of that stuff too, with the older players being resentful of the new generation. It's kind of part of the basketball process. Everybody thinks their generation's the best.
No. Anytime we say something about guys, it ain't the old get off my lawn guy.
Yeah.
But the stuff toward her is petty and jealous. And the thing I love about her, she never said.
Staying silent in the face of negativity is a rare skill, and Caitlin Clark has mastered it. She doesn't feed into media drama or respond to the constant criticism swirling around her. That kind of poise under pressure isn't just admirable, it's a superpower that could carry her far in her career. Interestingly, that same quiet intensity is something she shares with a new wave of young basketball phenoms who are quickly rising through the ranks. Charles Barkley, however, may have exposed a bit of his own inconsistency when he recently made a bold comparison not between current WNBA players, but between Caitlin Clark and someone who hasn't even entered the league yet. That player is Juju Watkins. Like Clark Watkins is making serious waves in college basketball, and her rise has drawn natural comparisons. But Barkley didn't just compare, he shifted the spotlight. In a recent segment, Barkley once again criticized WNBA players for being bitter toward Caitlin Clark, but then pivoted hard to hype up Watkins. His praise for the college star was overflowing, arguably even more enthusiastic than anything he said about Clark's groundbreaking rookie season. It wasn't just a compliment, it was a warning. Barkley suggested that if current WNBA players are struggling to handle Clark, they'd better brace themselves, because more young stars are coming, and fast. But the contrast in tone didn't go unnoticed. While Barkley has credited Clark for her grace and skill, his overwhelming hype for Watkins almost felt like he was rushing to crown a new face of the league before Clark has even had time to plant both feet on that throne.
Like, in USC, football's always going to be king over basketball, no matter how much success. But that girl, that young lady y'all got at USC right now, Juju,
incredible.
Hey, I tell all them bitter, angry girls in the WNBA who are upset about Caitlin Clark, move over more, because Juju is special. Number one, I would give a shout out to Caitlin for what she's did for women basketball the last 3 years, man. It's been incredible. And I wish those women would embrace it. But, Matt, that girl, Juju, she is the real deal.
Juju Watkins has a great head on her shoulders. She's grounded, respectful, and remarkably humble for someone who's already drawing comparisons to legends. In fact, she might be a little too kind to fit the mold of a Michael Jordan-type figure. But that humility, it's a strength, not a weakness, and it could be the key to her long-term growth as a player and a leader in the sport. In a landscape where basketball discourse is often toxic, especially in the WNBA, that kind of grace stands out. The league has seen its fair share of drama, fueled by everything from passionate rivalries to flat-out jealousy. With limited fan attention to go around, tensions often spill over. Players feud, media stirs the pot, and fans feed into that may not even exist. But amid that chaos, Juju Watkins has chosen a different path. She's made it clear that she respects her peers, including Caitlin Clark, the very player many are expecting her to one day challenge for WNBA supremacy. Instead of buying into the noise or trying to stoke controversy, Watkins has shown nothing but admiration. She understands that Clark is helping pave the way, opening doors for the next generation. Of course, it'll be fascinating to see how things evolve once they both land in the same league. Will that mutual respect hold once they're direct competitors? Or will we see Watkins take on a more aggressive edge like so many current WNBA stars have when facing Clark? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. If the future of the WNBA is in the hands of players like Caitlin Clark and Juju Watkins, the league is in very good hands.
Well, that's a big title. I wouldn't say that. I think that it's just, I wouldn't be considered the person I am without my competition. I mean, the comp is everything. The conferences, the great teams. I mean, I guess like Yeah, that's really what matters, just who you're playing. I think that's also a factor in how great you are, and just seeing who you're able to play in. So I wouldn't say I'm doing it alone. I mean, there's great teams everywhere, so many great players, and I'm just glad that I get to play against them.
Juju Watkins showed real class when she chose not to take the bait. In a sports world obsessed with rivalries and sound bites, she didn't throw shade at Caitlin Clark, and that alone is worth applauding. But while that moment of humility stood out, the real reason Watkins was on that interview was to showcase one undeniable truth. She's already a basketball force to be reckoned with. No other college freshman in her class or beyond has matched Ruru's scoring production. The game mentioned in the clip was her electric performance against Stanford, where she poured in 51 points and grabbed 11 rebounds. That outing didn't just make headlines, it also outdid Caitlin Clark's college career high of 49 points. And keep in mind, Watkins did that as a freshman. Her season averages a stunning 27.1 points, 7.3 rebounds,